Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to study parts of a speech as grammatical analysis. I'm going to cover noun, adjective, verbs, adverbs, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions and interjections today, and the objective is that you will be able to analyze any text which has these part of speeches. If we talk about the categories, then all these are divided into two categories, lexical category and non-lexical categories. Lexical categories includes nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs and prepositions, whereas non-lexical categories includes pronouns, conjunctions and interjections. Now let's talk about the nouns first. What is a noun? Basically, a noun is a name of a person, place, thing or any animal. There are different types of noun: common noun, proper noun. Common noun are non-specific. They refer to a broad class of people, place or things, like for example house, cat, girl, foot or country. Whereas proper noun help distinguish a specific person, place or thing. These words are capitalized because they are the name of any person, place, like for example Spain, Fido, Sony and so on. There are some more types of nouns, for example, singular noun and plural noun. Singular nouns can either be singular or plural. Singular nouns are without s, house, cat, girl, whereas plural nouns have s or es with them. There are regular and irregular plural nouns as well. Regular nouns are those which have s or es with them, whereas irregular plural nouns are those in which words changes, like for example person changes into people when it is turned to plural, life change into lives, house, mouse into mice and tooth into teeth. These are known as irregular plural nouns. Then there are concrete nouns and abstract nouns as well. Concrete noun is something that can be perceived through one of the five senses, like for example cat, table, apple, rabbit, ear. All these can be felt by any of the five senses. Whereas abstract nouns are intangible ideas. They are not things people can see, hear, smell or touch. They are sometimes feelings and emotions, social concepts, political theories or character traits which cannot be seen but can be felt, like for example anger, love, creativity, democracy. All these are known as abstract nouns. Then there are collective nouns and compound nouns as well. Collective nouns describe a group of things and it may be singular, plural, depending on how it is used. A singular collective noun refers to a group that function as one unit. For example, the team plays in the main gym. So the team is a collective noun which is basically a group of people. Similarly, crowd, flock, committee, $100, all these are collective nouns. Whereas compound noun combines two words in one word. Many of them are connected by hyphen. There are three types of compound nouns: single word, that is homework, textbook, classmate and grandmother. These are two words but combined together to form a single word. That's why they are known as compound noun. Then there are words which are separated, like for example pen pal, word processing, dining table, dining room. These are these are compound nouns. Then there are some compound nouns which are hyphenated. For example, three-fourth, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, self-esteem. These are hyphenated compound nouns. Then there are two more types of nouns, that is countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Countable noun is one that can be counted. For example, table, apple, rabbit, ear. These can be counted easily. Three books or three pennies. Whereas uncountable nouns are nouns which cannot be counted. For example, salt, seafood, luggage, advice. So these things cannot be counted in numbers. Then we have pronouns. Basically, a pronoun can replace a noun. For example, Mark can be changed with he, Mary she, Mark and Mary they. There are different types of pronouns. For example, possessive pronoun, demonstrative, objective, subjective, reflexive, and indefinite. Some of the examples are mentioned here. Like for example, possessive noun shows the possession of something. Mine, yours, his, her, its, ours, whose, theirs. Demonstrative pronoun shows the position or uh, the place of the thing. This, that, these, those. Objective pronouns are the nouns which are present in as an object in the sentence. Me, you, him, her, it, us, whom, them. Whereas subjective pronouns are the pronouns which act as the subject in the sentence. I, you, he, she, it, we, who, they. There are some reflexive pronouns as well. For example, myself, yourself, having self with them. Himself, herself, ourself, themselves. And indefinite pronouns are those in which there is nothing confirmed or clear, like for example, anybody, everybody, nobody, somebody. Then what is a verb? Basically, there are three types of verbs: action verbs, main verbs, which includes transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Then there are linking words, and along with the linking word, there is regular and irregular verbs. Basically, action verbs expresses action, something that a person, place, force, or nature or things can do. Like for example, playing, driving, moving, reading, eating. So action verbs can be transitive or intransitive, or you can say that it is further divided into two types. Transitive verbs must have a direct object. A transitive verb demands something or someone to be acted upon. For example, I painted the car. I painted what? The demand is that the car is painted. Car is should be there, mentioned, should be mentioned there. She is reading the newspaper. What is she reading? She is reading the newspaper. So object should be mentioned. In that case, it is transitive verb. Intransitive verbs do not act upon anything. They may be followed by an adjective, adverb, preposition, or another part of the speech. Like for example, she smiled. There's no need to add anything to it. That's why this is an intransitive verb. I wake up at 6 a.m. Again, there is no object. So that's why such verbs which doesn't need any object are known as intransitive verbs. Then there are linking or helping verbs. Linking words do not express action. Instead, they connect the subject of the verb to additional information about the subject. All the forms of be, that is, am, are, was, were, has, have, been, are, being, and so on. All these types or the forms of be are included as linking or the helping verb. Then we have our adjectives. Adjectives are the words that describe or modify another person or thing in the sentence. Adjectives are descriptive words. There are basically two main types of adjectives: descriptive adjectives and limiting adjectives. Descriptive adjectives describe the nouns, like for example, red house, tall man, large hut. This red, tall and large describes the noun. Whereas limiting adjectives limits or specify the noun, like for example, high school student, two teams, every employee. So this two team clearly limits, clearly shows that this is anything is limited to only these two teams. There are some more adjectives as well. For example, attributive adjectives. Attributive adjectives appear directly beside the noun, most commonly before, because they attribute a quality to the noun they modify. And more than one adjective can modify the same noun. For example, the flowers have a nice smell. This nice is placed before the noun, that's why it is known as attributive adjective. The charger made the room noisy. This is an instance in which the attributive adjective appears directly behind the noun. Noisy is describing the room. So attributive adjective can be mentioned before or after. Then there is another type of adjective, that is predicate adjective. Adjective which appear after a linking verb are predicate adjective because they form part of the predicate. Hence they modify the subject or the sentence or clause. For example, the pickles are salty. Now noun here is pickle, linking verbs are, and then there is an adjective, that is salty. Similarly, tornadoes appear menacing. Now this is again a linking word is there in between. So such adjectives which does not come along with the noun are known as predicate adjectives. Then there are possessive adjectives and demonstrative adjectives as well. The possessive adjectives, for example, me, my, your, his, her, its, ours, and their, modify noun by showing position, whereas demonstrative adjectives shows, or you can say, the modified nouns or noun phrases. For example, this, these, that, those. They are similar to demonstrative pronouns. Now let's talk about adverbs. Adverbs are the words that modify a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Like for example, he drove slowly. Here, slowly is basically modifying the verb drove. In the second example, he drove a very fast car. This fast car is an adjective. That's why this very is defining or modifying the adjective fast. It can also modify another adverb, like for example, he moved quite slowly down the aisle. So slowly is already an adverb, and this quiet is modifying or clarifying this slowly. That's why this is also an adverb. Usually adverbs are present or characterized by suffix "ly" and ask the questions how, when, where, and how much. Then there are different types of adverbs: adverb of time, adverb of manner, adverb of degree, adverb of place, and adverb of frequency. Some of the examples are mentioned here. Like for example, adverb of time includes never, lately, just, always, recently, during, yet, soon, sometimes, usually, so far, which shows some relationship with the time. Adverb of manner shows how the things are done, in which manner it's done: neatly, slowly, quickly, sadly. Adverb of degree, how how much it is done, or what is the degree of the thing, of adverb that is covered: almost, quiet, nearly, too, enough, just, hardly, and so on. Adverb of place, which shows or that is related with any place, like for example, here, there, nowhere, everywhere, out, in, above, below, inside, outside, into. Adverb of frequency, which shows the frequency or the number of times things are done: never, always, rarely, sometimes, normally, seldom, usually, and again. These are some of the examples of types of adverbs. Now let's talk about conjunctions. Conjunctions are basically joiners, a word that connects or joins part of sentences. There are three types of conjunctions: coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are and, or, but, for, nor, so, yet. Commonly or easily can be remembered as fanboys. Second is subordinating conjunctions, which introduces dependent clause and indicate the nature of the relationship among the independent clause and dependent clause. The most common subordinating conjunctions are after, although, as, because, before, how, if, once, since, then, that, though, and so on. Then we have correlative conjunctions, which appear in pairs. For example, both, and, either, or, neither, nor, not only, but, and so on. Now, the last is the preposition. Prepositions are like nouns, pronouns, and phrases to other words in a sentence. Basically, you can say that these are the linking words which shows the position of the noun. Some examples are mentioned over here on this slide. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.